So there comes a point in this spiritual journey, in this ascension of consciousness, in the awakening process, whatever you'd like to call it, where you can no longer find words to describe your findings. You feel as if you're somewhat losing your mind, and you somewhat feel as if, we're past the point of thinking something isn't right, but you start feeling uneasy, unsettled with your findings because you have no words for it, and because you understand that you're reaching a point, you're reaching a level that the average person isn't willing to not accept, but they've yet to even see beyond certain veils that are willing to allow them to understand or accept this to be valid, to be reality, or to even be a conversation. So the further you get as well, the more lonely it becomes, because the less you will resonate with other people. However, it comes at a price of how much do you want to know the answer or what you're looking for, because that's ultimately what spirituality is. You can sell it a million different ways, but what spirituality is at the end of the day is wanting to know the end of the movie, the end of the book, before reaching the end. Religion is wanting to believe in that ending, wanting to believe in that final outcome to be a certain way, and you're blindly believing in it. Spirituality allows you to reach that end before actually reaching it physically, and seeing at last what remains beyond this concept of death that so many of us are terrified of. But back to the beginning, about the further you get, the less words you're going to have for your findings. What this means is the further you go, the more you're going to realize that everything is the singularity. There is only one mind. There is only one consciousness. Which means when you strip yourself of this egoic mind, and what that means, stripping yourself, what that means is removing all blockages, all things that you have clinged onto in the mind and believed in as yourself, what you have dedicated your whole life to believing in as yourself is dying, is being mourned by you. There is a process to it. This is what an ego death is. It doesn't just happen in an instant, but this is what stripping yourself is. To die in that immediate moment is to allow yourself to surrender and allow something which you never have allowed before to take over. Because so long as we're here and now, it is our egoic mind that is driving, that is in control, or so it thinks, right? But what I mean is we've never surrendered ourselves to something other than this egoic mind. It's been in the driver's seat this whole time. We'll never let go, even in death, especially in death, because this is what we're fighting to hold on to, is the dream, the idea of who we think we are. But little do we realize, once we surrender and let go, everything that we've been searching for, all the questions we've been asking through this egoic mind is revealed to you. It just comes at the bitter price of you're not who you think you are. And so when you mourn the loss of yourself, you begin to accept that you're not who you think you are, which opens your horizon, opens your vision, opens your mind a little more to be able to see beyond things you weren't able to see into because you believed in yourself as this one identity, this individual. But you have been something so much more. We are undivided. We're not at one time in one place. Places, people, events, times are all an illusion. And it's not that they're not real. It's not that they're not happening. What it means to be an illusion is that ultimately, again, you're not who you think you are. You aren't just one person happening at one place and one time. When you die and you have a deeper understanding, and again, dying isn't just something that has to happen through psychedelics. It's not something that has to happen at a spiritual retreat. It can happen right here in your very home and at your very place of your job. You know, it doesn't have to be a specific place, a time, anywhere. It can happen anywhere, because death is not physical. Because you are not this body. The mind does not live in the body lives in the mind. What we've assumed ourselves to be is but a misconception, but again, we've never allowed ourselves to even think beyond certain beliefs, certain aspects of reality, because we are so heavily rooted into the egoic mind. And that's why, again, some of these answers or questions seem to just elude us. Every time we answer one question, 5, 10 more are brought up. Because ultimately, you're chasing your own tail. You are something so much more. And it is you the whole time. But you are not the questioner nor the answer. You are not the person that is asking the question nor the person that is answering it. You are not the dual principle of the seer and what's seen, of inside and outside. You are that fixed point called the singularity. And this is what I mean by you'll have fewer words to describe your findings, the reality of what truth actually is, because then you'll see that you're not in some place. This is not the world. When you look outside, you're not looking at the earth. You are looking into the void itself. You are looking into the depths of your own mind. You are looking at the very screen to your consciousness. We assume as human beings, as this egoic mind, that when we look outside, we're all seeing the same locally real and central object we're calling the earth. And we're assuming in our mind that we're all existent within this object. But the further you go into expanding your consciousness, the more you'll be able to realize and be honest with yourself that the only place you have ever been is the mind itself. This is why we haven't been back to the moon. This is why we pose the very idea that we could touch the moon, because it reinforces the idea that the earth and the universe and everything in it is a centralized object separate from ourselves that we can reach out and touch, that is physically there. But the earth, nor the moon, nor the sun are physical objects. Everything is a mental construct, and this kind of ties into we're inside of a simulation, because again, you are the duality. You are and you aren't. Right? Because it is and it isn't, and it isn't and it is at the same time. You're not inside the earth and you're not outside the earth, and that's why for the earth to be a ball or to be in any shape at all is irrelevant, because you are the inside and outside principle, the seer and what's seen, the 6 and the 9 and the 6, the you and the me. From the 9 vantage point it's a 6, from the 6 vantage point it's a 9. But when you realize the two are one and the same, the you and me are the very same conscious construct that we're calling life, that we're calling reality, then you understand that reality itself is subjective when it comes to the mind. Because everything that we are seeing and experiencing is being shaped and created through the mind itself, which is where the term seeing is believing comes into play. Again, you are looking into the depths of your own mind. This is just a screen to your own consciousness for you and you alone. This ties into the quote of, you are the universe experiencing itself. And the highest truth of God, if you would say, is that you are the only one here. Now, we internalize that through our egoic mind as, I, Tyler, this mind body, am the only one here. No, you are something so much more than what you are able to comprehend through this egoic mind, so it terrifies us when we say, you are the only one here. But when you expand your consciousness beyond just one egoic mind and one body, then you're comforted, then you're able to experience or internalize that beingness, that is, that I am, whatever. It has no word, but you are able to simply understand who you are here without the egoic mind present, by surrendering yourself to something beyond your own beliefs of who you are. And the only way to do that is through death, through the surrendering of your beliefs, or the investigation into your beliefs of who they belong to, because they belong to you as this I character. But the I character is just that, it's a veil. It's a character that we're all playing. That's what makes the word I universal. I is what we all universally sign on to, if you will, through this character, as this character, and we become different through the egoic mind of I. I am is God, is one, is unity, is all of us, until I am becomes an individual, an egoic mind, separate to the whole. And again, this information isn't for everybody, because some people ask the question, well, what happens if all of us were to know this at once? It would never happen, and it can never happen. That's the beauty of it. It's just like the ocean. One side of the current doesn't try and conquer the other. It's one motion. It's all one motion. It's the very same with the sun and the moon, the seasons, the same with your blood flow, the same with everything in the universe. It's a perfectly intelligent design. So for those seeking this information, it is there. It is accessible to you. Those who resonate on this level or with this frequency will find these videos. Because again, many people want the truth. They don't want to be sold something. They don't want to do chakra work. They don't want to do something, superficial. We want results. And it's very natural to want results, but it's also a catch when you come to someone and they tell you they have no practice for you. Because that makes the person want to give up. It makes it feel impossible. How is there no practice to truth? How is there no practice to getting there? Because the catch of it is you're already there. And the only thing a guru, an enlightened person that you would come to can do is not charge you to come back, but to open your eyes, or I should say open your eye, the mind, by removing the veils of who you believe you are, so that you can see at last it's you the whole time you're looking for. It's you the whole time you're waiting for. All these questions that you've been asking through this egoic mind you believe yourself to be are leading up to the demise of the very same egoic mind. That is the catch of awakening. We think we're going to awaken by meeting God, by meeting something other than ourselves. But we don't realize in the process of getting there, or again, you're already there, but we don't know that when we're in the journey, which is the whole point in the journey. But we don't realize we're already there, so we have to, it is a journey. It's the same with as the Wizard of Oz. You're leaving one place to get to another, to realize you've had it the whole time, to realize you are the it the whole time. But again, all the questions we're asking through the egoic mind does not realize that these answers are eventually going to lead to its own demise when you're honest with yourself, when you're truthful enough with yourself, and when you're persistent enough. Any great mind throughout antiquity has found the same result of the singularity. There is an inevitable outcome to asking questions and questioning reality. And it's inevitable. There is no government, there is no third-party being that can stop you or prevent you from achieving or reaching it, because you are the it the whole time. And that's what's so beautiful about this. You don't have to have money, you don't have to have wealth, you don't have to have riches, you don't have to have anything. And again, wealth is not money. But that's what spirituality online has become. How to manifest an abundance of money, an abundance of wealth. Money was never the wealth, but it's become the wealth through spirituality, which shows you we've fallen into the trick of the dream world. We're trying to anchor ourselves deeper into the dream world by bringing ourselves an abundance of superficial riches, which only anchor us deeper into this comfort which only comfort us deeper into the dream world so that we'll never ask a question, so that when death does come, it will be a tragedy for all of us. But again, those who persist enough all reach the same inevitable outcome. It's that we are one. All is one. It's that you are not birthing and you are not dying, which relates to energy cannot be destroyed, it's only transferred. If you want to put a word to it, because again, ultimately, when you reach the truth, the final truth, because again, there is no final truth. All these words are made up. So you have to understand to listen to these videos with the heart and not the mind, right? But you understand when I say you reach the final truth, I'm not actually talking about a level or some stage or some dimension where you reach this place. There is no such thing as a final truth, but I'm trying to relay this into words, right? But when you reach this final truth, you will have no word for it, because there is no place, there is no time, there is no where, there is no one that awakens. Tyler does not awaken from the dream. Tyler did not awaken from the dream. When Tyler dies and I experience the ego death of Tyler, yes, I still respond to Tyler when Tyler is called here, but in my mind, spiritually, in my heart, in my core, when death comes, there will be no dying, because I have already been through it. I have already done it. I've seen beyond that veil, because I've seen beyond the veil of Tyler. And you understand that all is one, which means every person, at every time, at every place, at everywhere, it's always been you. And what you thought to be the earth is nothing but your void, your nothingness, being projected so that you can bear witness to your own formless light. Because that's all our thoughts are formless thoughts in motion, energy without form. And what this is a screen for us to project this energy onto, to project our beliefs onto, so that this can become whatever we want it to be. You don't understand, but you are already living in the dream. And what I mean is, what you're trying to fulfill, what you are trying to achieve through this egoic mind day after day, you have already achieved, not through the ego, but through your soul, through your spirit, through us as this one beingness. We have already achieved it. And the reason we are the most unhappy species here is because we think and believe with full conviction we are this egoic mind. And we as this egoic mind have to do something so far out and beyond incredible and impossible and amazing to impress everyone. But none of us realize we're missing the gift, each and every one of us, because all of us have already fulfilled ourselves by simply being here. Being here, being now, is an impossibility in itself. But we forget, by becoming such complex humans, by becoming such a complex veil. That's all a human is a veil, an entity that we have taken on as this image. And we've repeated it so many times that it's common sense now, it's common knowledge. But what we don't understand is this image has changed, it's evolved throughout time, if you want to use that word. And we are continuing to evolve right now in this very moment as this image.